Good evening, my lords. Yarnu the dog here. Welcome to my Insurgency guide for new and veteran players alike. In this guide, you're going to learn how to be an absolute mad dog and get the edge over those dirty callouts.
I've got two down on the left side.
Gus Boss, where are you? I'm coming for you, Gus Boss.
Fuck. No, you're not.
Nothing to see here. So to kick things off, let's look at flanking. Now, Insurgency Sandstorm offers much larger maps than its predecessors, meaning there are plenty of opportunities to avoid enemy sightlines and sneak up on unsuspecting foes. You will always find me hitting a flank, and I encourage you all to think about approaching objectives like so. Not only is it much safer, but it is also far likely that you will make it to your objective on an unsuspecting angle.
Hey, motherfucker. We're capping. I need you boys on the point now. Get it.
Walk the road least travelled, go against the crowd of heroes running straight into the meat grinder, getting their towels removed, and enjoy having turnbacks to shoot at.
We capped it, well done.
Suppressors. If you're going to flank, you should do it quiet, right? The suppressor is a fantastic attachment for the stealthy flanker, especially on attack. Being able to hit a flank and remain as quiet as possible is only going to assist. For example, I'm now currently capping the objective and shooting defenders with my AK. The suppressor is making it very hard for the enemy to pinpoint my location, especially amidst other gunfire and battle comms. Ultimately, it's the confusion the suppressor creates when you start shooting that makes this attachment so worthwhile. The enemy who hears your shots is going to be scratching his head as to whether his teammate is doing the shooting or you are. That to me is extremely powerful and will serve you very well should you flank. Which is why we're going to look at being as speedy as possible. At the beginning of my attacking games, I often unequip both my carrier and armor. This reduces my overall weight. The extra speed I get in doing so is going to help me reach my position before enemies can even set up.
Keep going.
Just save your ass, Yarnu.
Oh my god. Oh, thank you.
Now we have one shot at this. Either we cap the point in our initial life, making the most of our speed and swiftness, or we die. In either case, you are welcome to change back to your initial loadouts, as speed is probably not going to mean as much of a deal when enemies are now dug in. Quite obviously, running no armor makes you much weaker to guns. You may notice getting one hit more often. You must also be very careful for explosives, as the lack of explosive resistance may cause career-ending injuries. It is definitely a risk-reward tactic at best. And don't forget, should you cap the point and survive, feel free to run to the ammo box near your spawn to re-kit for a more suitable loadout. Smokes. Easily the most important piece of utility you will have that helps you reach objectives and use to get out of sticky situations where you are pinned down. When placing smokes, it's imperative you put them down to block enemy field of vision. One smoke and this entire road is covered. Another smoke and that sniper in the window can't see a thing. Now smoke is extremely effective at concealment, but make sure you smoke the enemy. Don't just blindly run through. Furthermore, get into the habit of packing a gas mask. Not only does it make you look sick, but it stops your man from coughing in smoke, thus concealing your position. Out of bounds flanks, because why run into machine guns and enemy sight lines when we can go around? Take a look at this house on my right. This is actually out of bounds, but if we time it right, it's also the safest route to take. Oh shit.
Out of bounds flanking is a risky maneuver. When you move out of bounds, your gun is lowered, meaning you can't even fight back. However, it's most rewarding when it pays off, as the enemy won't be expecting such a flank through their spawn. Momentum. Momentum is an interesting aspect when playing Sandstorm. Essentially, momentum is about rolling onto the next objective after capping a prior point. This is a quick, sudden burst of speed to leapfrog onto the next point before enemies have time to set up and prepare their next line of defense. Notice how I've made it to point C and the enemy are still moving from their spawn? Well, this means that our timing was impeccable. They will not expect you to be here so early, and you will deliver a firm punishment for just that. Now, to think that most people waste this momentum is absolutely crazy. Hey, motherfucker! Why clear an enemy off an old, uncappable point when we can leave those pricks behind so that they are unable to help defend their current objective? So we've talked a bit about flanking and positioning to help get onto points. But what about finally securing the objective? Capping points is very simple in this. Once you're on the point, you start capping. The moment your strength is matched, as in the same amount of enemies are on the cap, it becomes a stalemate. That is, the cap is frozen. Once you are outnumbered, you start losing your progress, and vice versa. And finally, blocked by enemy.
Oh no, we're losing it.
Hey boys, how you doing?
We've just about captured the point. But what? They're blocking us?
Hey mate, if you can turn around right now, that'll be great. Can you turn around, dude? Hey, I'm talking to you. Can you turn around?
Yes, even if you have majority and fully complete the capping circle, it just takes one prick hiding in a corner to block the cap. Urgency. The only way to cap the point is to clear the point. Let's look at this example. My team is all out of waves. This is our last attempt of the round. I also realize that the enemy team has respawned, meaning we can expect a heavy wave of callouts to come and push us fucking hard. If someone is blocking the point, we will show some urgency to clear him off the point before all is lost. See? Another prick hiding in the corner. You see, clearing points is extremely tough work. You must prepare to meet an enemy in every corner and be quick on the trigger.
They're down, they're down, they're down. Let's go, shoot.
If this seems like much too hard a job, I bloody agree. I say, why not make our lives easier and block these pricks with a wall of fire? Molotovs and incendiary grenades. Because why let the enemy reinforce the point when you can keep those buggers off? Flame weapons are one of the most effective tools for locking down a site. The flame burns strong and incinerates anyone foolish to go near it. It also buys you necessary time to capture the point, as the enemy is forced to look for alternative entry points.
Alright bro, let's fucking see how good our aim is. You first, you first.
Fucking oh, good throw, good throw.
Excellent throwmanship lets you destroy caches without having to breach and clear the final point.
So make sure you pack your bag with a molly or incendiary grenade. They're far too useful. Okay, hero. You can throw a molly and secure a point. But there is something very valuable yet to learn. Block and delay. Blocking and delaying is about impeding the enemy respawn wave so that their ranks are thin before they reach the objective. Insurgency runs off a wave system. At the bottom of your screen, it will tell you both your team's wave count and your enemies. When the number ticks down, all the dead players waiting to respawn finally come back to life. This is your opportunity to snag some free, easy frags and delay these pricks as much as possible. The best position for blocking is just behind the objective, like this current example. Notice how I'm able to single-handedly stop a whole group of callouts from even entering the objective, thus allowing our boys to catch.
That's one, we got Alpha!
Nice.
That's one, we got Alpha, team.
Voice comms and communications. Now, you've probably already heard me use in-game comms quite a bit so far. Voice comms is a double-edged sword. On one end, you need to relay vital information to your team, and on the other side, the enemy can hear your voice when in proximity, leading to some awkward moments.
Upstairs A is clear, guys. The Yanks are downstairs.
Fuck up, Yarnu!
Despite there being a great risk of using comms near enemies, you should be consistently using your microphone to help your team coordinate effectively.
They come behind you. Behind. Coming through the doorway now.
What's wrong with you?
Hey guys, I'm just reloading. I can't shoot anyone. So if he runs through the door, I'm not going to be able to shoot him.
Also be very mindful about the callouts your character will make.
We need the radio over here for fire support.
A great tip I like is to adorn your gas mask.
Where's the damn radio observer?
This will make your player far harder to hear amidst other sounds. Attachments and loadouts. Sandstorm lets you customize a plethora of guns with cool ass attachments that affect weapon performance. But at the end of the day, a bullet is a bullet and you don't need all those tactical fucking grips and laser sights to drop a prick. Wait for me, guys! Given that most areas you fight in are CQB, I usually always take a 1x optic. The clear picture and coloured dot will help me be on point with my aim. For the insurgents, the PKAS 1.5x optic is my favourite scope, and I use it on almost all my insurgent loadouts. Then there is the 2x magnifier. In most scenarios, this optic is about as much zoom as you could possibly need, even on the larger maps, while still remaining versatile enough to push into CQB engagements. And then the flash hider. Yeah, take the flash hider. Extended mags. Extended mags usually add either 5 or 10 rounds to your mag, depending on the gun. That is enough ammunition to take out 1 or 2 more guys per reload and will save your life time and time again. Take this attachment. The compensator and full grip. You don't need them. Well, not completely true. I do sometimes run a full grip on the bigger 7.62 rifles when I have surplus points. However, most weapons are extremely controllable stock and we're only wasting points with the grip. And compensators, just use a flash hider. To be as accurate as possible, make sure you crouch whenever you shoot and use the steady breath ability. Make sure you violently drag down to counter vertical recoil, as predominantly that is all you have to counter. For longer ranges, swap to semi-auto mode and click away. Even controlled 2 to 3 round bursts in full auto is more than enough to remain accurate, but deadly. And what about handguns? Fun, but unreliable. Pack one, but make it cheap. I'd personally much rather pick up a primary off the ground in a tight spot. Scavenging. If someone spent points on it, take it and it's yours for free. I just bagged 3 Yanks and they all dropped guns with the same magazine. If you want, you can scavenge a gun, then grab similar magazines from dead players. Ooh, one even has a foregrip for me. Before you know it, you're gonna have a pimped out gun with plenty of ammo to go around. Similarly, if you see grenades and rocket launchers, grab them and use them. After all, they won't be needing them where they have gone.
Frag out!
And there we have it. Thank you for watching the guide. I hope I have instilled some dog wisdom to you dirty Jalalabads and that this will serve you well in Sandstorm. Take care because I'm gone. See you next time.